I am Lydia Brown. I am the volunteer coordinator at Holy Cross School, and I've lived in the San Mateo community for 2 years. My husband and I, we are the first gringos to live in San Mateo. We live in a 2-story house, we live upstairs, and then we have 5 one-room apartments that are downstairs. And I came to work at Holy Cross because I was the next door neighbour. Over the time we've spent in the community, and through the time I've spent in the school, I've had a chance to learn some of the stories of the children who go here. A lot of our kids have hard lives. The parents, many of them have problems with alcohol abuse or drug abuse, and also the working conditions on the island are very unpredictable. So families' lives, they just never know when the next money is coming from. We have one-room apartments. Most of them are 10 feet by 6 feet. It's not uncommon to have a family with 5 or 6 children living in that one-room apartment. So it's crowded. The kids get sexualized. They become adults too early. They get sexualized very early just by what they see their parents doing, by what they see on the TV, and also just because of economic tensions, and so often they'll see a lot of fighting in the family. We had one family who the man was working hauling sand, and he had worked with another guy, and they had done the job, and the person who had asked them to do the job had failed to pay them, which isn't unusual. But this had put them in a very difficult financial position because this guy's partner had pawned his gold necklace to pay for the gas. And so it was about 2 weeks after the job had happened, and then the guy who had pawned his necklace just got so angry that he came onto our property, and in front of our tenants' children stabbed the man in the back about 6 times, and he ended up with a punctured lung. The family lost the business. They ended up having to leave the island. I've heard stories of children whose parents have made them sell jewellery on the beaches, and where the mum says if the child doesn't sell any jewellery, you won't get to eat today. You know, so your older sister sells some jewellery, she gets to eat, but you have to go hungry because you haven't done it. There are families with terrible trouble with alcohol, men who drink everything, they're beating their families, children who are getting sexually abused. I know of one girl in San Mateo, she has a mother who can no longer work, and she is selling her daughter to anyone who's willing to buy. There's a boy, he went to our school, he would do anything to help his mum, and including selling himself. So it's a community where there are a lot of rough things happening to a school, to the children. You see a lot of smiles, but they hide a lot of pain. The principal at our school, Miss Grace Williams, she estimates that perhaps 90% of our students have needs or anger issues or are dealing with problems resulting from either sexual abuse, physical abuse, or verbal abuse from the family. A lot of our kids, they're also dealing with separation issues or abandonment issues. Most families here tend to be quite transient. So a man and a woman will get together and have a child, and often the man will leave, and then the woman will get together with someone else, may or may not have a child, have another child and leave. So it's not uncommon for our children to be growing up in families where with 3 or 4 siblings, none of whom have the same exact parents. So yeah, we've had troubles with the men walking out, abandoning their families, and also trouble with the women walking out and abandoning their families. Stories of a mother who's dropped off her children at a friend and saying, yeah, I'm going to the doctor, I'll be back. And she was 4 days later, and nobody knew if she was coming back. There's one mum who never came back. She's been gone about 2 years now. So there's just a real high need in this community for children to have affection and to have good role models. I've heard a story of a grown woman who can never remember a time when her mother gave her a hug. So yeah, our kids are just hungry for people to come alongside them and to mentor them, to grow them, to give them hope. And particularly a need for the boys as they're growing older to have something positive to do on the island that keeps them out of the bars, keeps them off the streets, and gives them good self-esteem and keeps them safe.